vanished mid-world flight. The year is 1937. The world, still grappling with the aftermath of the Great Depression, looks to the skies for inspiration. Amelia Earhart, already a legend, embodies that hope. She wasn't just a pilot, she was a symbol. A symbol of courage, of breaking boundaries, of what a woman could achieve in a world still stubbornly clinging to old traditions. Her plan was audacious, to circumnavigate the globe at the equator, a feat never before accomplished. With her navigator, Fred Noonan, Earhart took off in her Lockheed Electra, a gleaming silver bird christened with the weight of global expectations. The early legs of the journey went smoothly, documented in radio transmissions and newsreels. But as they ventured deeper into the vast expanse of the Pacific, a sense of unease began to creep into her communications. There were reports of navigation errors, equipment malfunctions, and a growing desperation in Earhart's voice. The Electra, laden with fuel and carrying the hopes of a world, disappeared somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, near Howland Island. The last confirmed radio transmission crackled with static and a chillingly vague message. "We are on the line 157-337. We will repeat this message. We will repeat this on 6210 kilocycles." Wait. Then silence. An immediate and massive search was launched, spearheaded by the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard. Ships and planes scoured thousands of square miles of ocean, desperately seeking any trace of the missing aviators and their aircraft. The world held its breath, clinging to the hope that Earhart and Noonan were alive, stranded perhaps, but awaiting rescue. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but the search yielded nothing. No wreckage, no life rafts, no bodies. Only the vast, indifferent ocean and a growing sense of despair. A chilling detail emerged from later analyses of Earhart's radio transmissions. Her reported position was inconsistent with her estimated speed and course, suggesting a crucial navigational error, or perhaps something more sinister. The official investigation, concluded in 1939, ruled that Earhart and Noonan had run out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. The cause, pilot error and poor planning. Case closed, but the explanation felt incomplete, unsatisfying, and it failed to quell the rising tide of speculation. Conspiracy theories blossomed, fueled by the lack of concrete evidence and the public's unwillingness to accept such an unceremonious end for a national hero. One theory claimed that Earhart was a spy, sent by President Roosevelt to photograph Japanese military installations in the Pacific. When captured, she was allegedly executed, and the government covered up the truth to avoid an international incident. Another, more outlandish theory suggested that Earhart and Noonan crash-landed on a remote island where they lived out their days as castaways, forgotten by the world. The search for answers continued, driven by amateur sleuths, historians, and aviation enthusiasts. Expeditions were launched to remote islands, armed with metal detectors and historical documents. Rumors circulated about recovered artifacts, whispered accounts of island natives who claimed to have seen a silver plane, and blurry photographs purporting to show wreckage. One piece of evidence that gained traction was the discovery of a fragmented aluminum sheet on Nicumaroro Island, part of the Phoenix Islands, hundreds of miles southeast of Howland Island. Some researchers argued that the sheet matched the dimensions and rivet patterns of the Lockheed Electra, but skepticism remained. Could this be a genuine piece of the missing aircraft, or just another red herring in a decades-old mystery? The evidence, like Earhart herself, remained elusive. A major twist emerged with the re-examination of radio transmissions from the period. Independent researchers, poring over declassified naval intelligence files, discovered multiple reports of distress signals received after Earhart's last official transmission. These signals, often dismissed as hoaxes, were pinpointed to various locations in the Pacific, suggesting that Earhart's plane may have remained afloat for days, or even weeks, after the supposed crash. Could Earhart and Noonan have survived the initial crash and desperately tried to send out SOS signals? The possibility, however remote, rekindled the flame of hope and cast doubt on the official narrative. But who then was suppressing this information, and why? The answer, it seemed, was buried deep within the political machinations of the pre-war era. Further investigation uncovered a potential motive for cover-up: the escalating tensions between the United States and Japan. In the years leading up to World War II, the Pacific was a hotbed of espionage and military maneuvering. U.S. government, aware of Japan's growing military presence in the region, may have secretly tasked Earhart with gathering intelligence during her round-the-world flight. If Earhart was indeed on a clandestine mission, her capture by the Japanese would have been a major embarrassment for the Roosevelt administration. The government, fearing the political repercussions, may have opted to bury the truth and perpetuate the narrative of a tragic accident. This theory painted a darker, more cynical picture of Earhart's disappearance, transforming her from a courageous aviator into a pawn in a high-stakes game of international intrigue. The stakes escalated dramatically when evidence surfaced suggesting that the Japanese may have indeed captured Earhart and Noonan. Unconfirmed reports from former Japanese soldiers and island residents spoke of a captured American pilot and navigator being held on Saipan, a Japanese-controlled island in the Mariana Islands. Some even claimed to have witnessed their execution. The rumors, though difficult to verify, added another layer of complexity to the mystery and fueled the theory that Earhart's fate was not a simple accident, but a deliberate act of war. But with the passage of time, the witnesses passed away, and the evidence became ever more circumstantial, shrouded in the fog of war and the mists of memory. Another betrayal emerged, this time from within the U.S. government. Some historians argue that certain officials, aware of Earhart's possible capture, deliberately withheld information from the public and even manipulated the search efforts to prevent the truth from coming to light. The motive: to protect national security and avoid a potential conflict with Japan. This alleged cover-up, if true, would represent a profound breach of public trust and a devastating blow to Earhart's legacy. It suggested that her disappearance was not just a tragic accident or a failed mission, but a carefully orchestrated act of deception designed to protect the interests of powerful individuals and institutions. The final reveal comes in fragments, scattered across decades. While conclusive proof remains elusive, the weight of evidence leans towards a darker truth. The most plausible scenario: Earhart and Noonan, either through navigational error or a failed secret mission, crash-landed in Japanese-controlled territory. They were captured, interrogated, and ultimately met a tragic end at the hands of their captors. U.S. government, fearing the political ramifications, chose to suppress the truth and perpetuate the myth of the lost aviators. The irony is bitter. Amelia Earhart, a symbol of American ingenuity and freedom, may have become a casualty of the very ideals she represented, sacrificed on the altar of political expediency. Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of the 20th century's most enduring mysteries, a haunting reminder of the fragility of human ambition and the enduring power of secrets. Her legacy, however, transcends the circumstances of her death. She continues to inspire generations of pilots, adventurers, and dreamers, a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and the courage to chase the impossible. But the unanswered questions linger, a chilling echo in the vast expanse of the Pacific, a reminder that some mysteries may never be fully solved, and that the truth, like the elusive Electra, may forever remain lost in the depths of history.